Hello and welcome everybody to episode 36 of Spreading the Nerd, Hitchhikers Guide to the Galaxies Showcase. I'm your host, Clint Coombs, and my co-host, of course, is Rick Davis. How are you, sir?
I'm Peachy, and fun fact, I have never watched or read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So
I was trying to think of because
my friend, I think it's his favorite book, but I've never read it.
I have never read the book. I've seen the movie, and I loved the movie. I know I would love the book.
He said he liked it, but it's obviously not a particularly great representation. But he said it was a good movie. He did say he enjoyed it.
I did like the movie, and I was just like, there were things like Nintendo had news. There was other things. And I was like, oh man, what? I need to think of something. And I was just like, Hitchhiker's Guide to Galaxies. Sure, why not? We'll do that. So that's what popped up in my head. So so main theme today is talking about Galaxies, our initial thoughts on it, and of course some other gaming news. Some Star Wars stuff came out with the Japan celebration going on over there.
Better refill my bottle of Haterade. I don't want to run out.
And then we got some info on Nintendo finally. So yeah, we'll go over some stuff. But first, what have you been playing, sir? Anything?
Nothing really different there, at least as compared to Saturday. But basically bouncing between Assassin's Creed, Kingdom Come, and First Berserker. That said, I do have news on First Berserker because I do not remember if this was. I think it was the case on Saturday, but anybody that has played that game enough to progress this a little bit will tell you that the second boss in that game is a massive skill check. The first boss actually was fairly easy, right?
So the second boss itself.
Boss, it throws you into the volcano, like no mercy whatsoever. It's just, it is a bitch. But I got him. I got him Tuesday, I think. I had gotten to within a damn sliver of a hair twice, and I wanted to pull my friggin' hair out. At least what little of it I have. But I was like, all right. I was like, I kind of have the rhythm down, especially for a couple of his combos. I was like, I'm gonna go back at this because I think if I'm patient and wait, I can get there. I was like, I think I can do it because I think I got it down. And I want to say now I can barely progress to the next area right now, soaking it. So I'm not real confident about the next boss. But yeah. So I actually in good old typical Souls fashion, there's two phases, but it does not do what I hate, which is you kill them. Then there's a second phase where they have a whole new health bar. It doesn't do that. It's when you get them when you get him down to like 60% health or so, it kicks into the next phase where he has some additional attacks. So it's like, okay, I can at least deal with that.
That's not bad.
It is total bullshit when enemies give a whole new health bar.
That
infuriates me. But his second phase is he adds two new weapon types. So what makes him tough to begin with is number one, he's fast, he's aggressive, and he switches through different weapon types pretty often. So you really have a lot of like he doesn't have a lot of combos with each type, but he does have a couple. So there's a lot to keep track of. And this game it's not built around parrying per se, but it is a part of it. Well, it's not really parrying. They call it like blink guard or something like that. It is built around draining the enemy's like stamina bar, for lack of a better word. Poise bar, I guess, is how you would usually refer to that, right? Usually it doesn't matter that much, but on bosses it does. Like that's how you kind of get the more powerful hits. You drain them and then do your power attack, whatever.
Right.
His poise bar refills very, very quickly. So you'll do the blocking and stuff like that, and you've got to stay aggressive so that you can keep it down. The best way I can describe this is, and this is comparing it to a very bad game, but nevertheless, I think you understand what I'm saying. If you remember how the what do you call it? The stagger bar works in good old Final Fantasy 13, right? The blight upon the otherwise hallowed name. If you remember correctly, your magic use that doesn't work this way, but you'll get what I'm saying in a second. Your magic users would fill up the stagger quickly, but it would also drain very quickly.
Right.
Your melee users would fill it up slowly, but they hold it. So what you wanted to do is use your magic to build it up, then switch to a melee, hit them so that it then starts trickling slowly, right? It's kind of a similar idea here where you get it down by basically building it around or parrying his combos or whatever. Then you want to throw in some attacks to just a jab here or there or something like that, just to keep the bar from just filling back up. But the way that you get it down the quickest by far is by doing the blink counter or whatever they call it. And then you are rewarded with the whatever they call it, the brutal attack or whatever, which does like 3% damage. It really isn't much, but it's basically like chip damage for anything else. So it is your biggest damage attack. But also the important part is when you do the blink counter, or again whatever they call it, it does not deplete your stamina nearly as much. So that's why it's so important. Because otherwise you're just constantly on the defensive. But if you're able to do the proper countering, you can maintain some amount of stamina to attack him. But anyway, so I did finally get him, and I said a lot of expletive words in jubilation of finally being that guy, because he was really hard. I know Silken is kind of teasing me there, but he'll back up what I said, that he for being like he called him a basically training boss. He is absolutely relentless. Like it is, the difficulty goes from this to this, like right away.
Yeah, he had mentioned in Discord that the game is like
it's very difficult.
Hard. It's hard.
It's absolutely on the high end scale of Souls difficulties.
That's what I've heard.
Like I would put it, to be honest with you, probably after like Dark Souls 1. Like it's up.
Really?
It's one of the hardest ones. I actually thought that that Lords of the Fallen was pretty tough. Not so much in the bosses, but everything else. And I think this blows that out of the water.
Oh damn.
Oh yeah. This one is tough. I would definitely say it's harder than Neo, and Neo had its moments where it was really tough, but it also had its moments where it wasn't too bad. Neo was amazing.
Yeah.
But it also has moments where it really wasn't too bad, right? Like if you had the right build for whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Neo, you could actually occasionally pound through a boss if you just happen to have something that it was not great at. But Kazan, there's only 3 weapon types, so you can build based on increasing this, that, or the other thing, and then you obviously can equip different abilities and stuff like that. But what's unique about this is, unlike any other Souls game that I've played, is you do not equip 2 weapon types at a time. You only equip 1. You can carry them all, but this is actually something I asked Silken because I was so confused about how people were describing it. I thought, I was like, can you only change your weapon type at this game's version of a bonfire? But you can't. That's not true at all. You have them all the time, but you can't go into the menu to change it in the middle of battle because you're never going to get out of it alive. So the reality is, like when you go into a battle, you're using what you're using. So you have your dual blades, which is an axe, and a sword, which is obviously your fast attack. You have your great sword, which is your slow one, but powerful, and then you have your spear, which is good at range. And I have actually found the spear to be what I'm by far best at. When I was fighting the Blade Phantom, I couldn't get close to the end of the first phase with the great sword. I mean, I'll tell you, if I got in 3 combos, it was amazing. I did a little better with the dual blades, but I could usually get to the second phase, but I was so depleted by then that I wouldn't last long. And the spear is what I found I was by far most successful with. So
keep that in mind.
It's an awesome game. Honestly, it is an awesome game.
I'll get to it someday, but it's gonna be a while.
Yeah, you just gotta do it, understanding that it's gonna be hard. And what's really funny about it is Rick Hogue, who a lot of us know from either Last Stand or Bitcast and all that stuff. Not a big Souls fan, but he liked this game, and he was struggling with that first boss. But it's like, dude, I'm not being an elitist on this at all. But if you're struggling with that first boss, man,
he probably
you are in for a friggin' ride, because he is nothing compared to the ones that are coming. And I don't mean that to be a dick. I really don't.
Right.
And actually when he mentioned that was the one that he was playing, he mentioned this on Summon Signs, which is the Last Stand show. Bradley Ellis, who's the host there, the big Souls fan, even said that's an interesting one to pick up since you don't like the difficulty of Souls games. He's like, because it's definitely one of the hardest ones. It's very much on the top of that list.
Way to get thrown in.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. Anything else that you've been playing you want to talk about?
I finally got past the wedding in Kingdom Come, so progress is being made. I will.
You just got past that?
No, actually a few days ago I did. But
no, but I mean, oh my god,
I just never did it.
Okay.
I did it.
Yeah. Okay.
So are you past that point or no?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
God, I love that game.
I'll put this
I
in very
love that game.
vague terms so that people aren't spoiled. But basically, right before we started the show, I finished if you want to call it, the race against the 12 bells. If you know
Yeah.
what it means, you know what it means. So that's actually where I am now. I basically saved after that following cutscene.
Yeah.
After that part.
But
Basically, I decided to I was like, okay, I'm not just gonna 100% this map and then move on, because that's just not how I want to play this game. But I knew that a certain character shows up at the end of the quest line dealing with the what do you call them, game makers or game masters, whatever they're called.
yeah.
And so I knew who that character was, but I was like, okay, that I want to see that before I do the wedding. And so I did do that, and I'm glad that I did, as it definitely references what you discover in that. So,
yeah, I'm pretty
silking it. You'll know when you know. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm pretty. Yeah, I think I did completely 100% the first area before moving on. And I think in total right now, I have about 76 hours or something into it. But I've barely touched the second map and gotten far into it quest-wise.
I've not even gotten there yet myself.
But God, it is such a good game. It is so good. I love that game so much.
And
but I haven't played it. I haven't played it. Not this week. I picked it up like a couple weekends ago and got back into a little bit more. It's one of those games that I will absolutely adore and love, but I'll pick it up, play it a bit, put it down, pick it up, play it, put it down.
Sorry, what was that again?
The Kingdom Come To, because I haven't really played it in the past week. I played Mandragora a little bit last night. I played about 2 hours.
That's more than me. I played it for maybe a half hour, 45 minutes.
I started out with the mage class, and I was like, yeah, this is all right, but I just wasn't feeling it. And then I swapped and started over again. So technically, I've probably only played an hour. And I started with the rogue, and I think I like that class a lot better. But now I'm like, do I want to play the Vanguard or whatever?
Just chill and progress what you're doing, and then you can be whatever you want to be after.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I think it's
25. I think instead of 25, you can start working on any tree you want.
I do like it. I got it on the Pro. Plays great on there. The controls could be a little bit better for me.
It's bizarre that there's no walking speed. That it's either running or not moving. Like that tells me that it should give you the option to just control it with the D-pad.
Yeah, there's like dash or run, and there's no like slow walk. So and that's screwed me up a few times, because I'm trying to like move slowly as the screen progresses, because I don't want to run into a big monster, and I have done that. The backgrounds are great. I love the backgrounds. It is very the feedback's great on it, that type of thing. The controller layout itself too, like the dodge being R2, I'm not a fan of that.
See, that doesn't bother me, because I've played more than enough Metroidvanias where that's where it is attached. So
okay, I'm so used to
there's other things that are very weird, like your secondary attack, which for my class is a firebolt or whatever, being on triangle is very freaking weird. But if you're a melee class, it's an uppercut, so it makes more sense. It's like I should look. I could probably move that to a different
probably
like a different action that probably then is mapped to one of the shoulder buttons, which would make a lot more sense than what it is now.
Yeah, and with the rogue, basically you push triangle and it puts venom on your daggers, and then you're good to go. But yeah, I definitely like it. Definitely gonna play it some more. I love the background, the style and stuff. Stories kind of whatever. It seems okay for now.
I heard the story is really not very good, although it definitely puts an emphasis on it. Like it's not like it's just there just to push you forward. Like it definitely emphasizes the story.
Oh, for sure. And like the when they're telling the story with the hand drawn art and stuff, it looks great. But
yeah, it's one of the better looking, what do you call those, like animated stills that I've ever seen. Like just the way that the portraits, I mean, not so much the backgrounds, but the portraits, they move in a more realistic fashion than what an animated still typically does. So they definitely put effort into that.
Yeah. So I've been playing that. I was going to get Tempest Rising, which is a new Command and Conquer style game, but I'm like, I need to stop. Like, I need to stop buying games because
it is reaching critical mass. There's no question about it.
It's just so ridiculous. I did pick up Lunar this morning because I was still scared that I wouldn't get it.
Although apparently the PS4 version is sold out now, but that is not a permanent sellout. That's why you being scared was so bizarre. Like they're going to get restocked. That's what they said. Is if it sells, we'll restock it.
Yeah, so that's good, but I got that. That'll come next week. I probably won't play it right off because it's just there's so much I need.
My guess is I'll never play it, but I'll have it. My guess is I will probably never once play it.
It's just there's just so much out. So yeah, the Tempest Rising. I was like, no, I'm gonna wait. It's getting fantastic reviews, so I'm excited to play it. It's just I can't right now. A little bit of Warcraft with raiding and stuff, and then played some Final Fantasy 14 because it's been a hot minute since I've played that, so kind of getting back into that a little bit. That's about all I've played. The only thing I want to talk about before like getting into other stuff is that I know I mentioned it to you, and I went and saw Warfare last weekend, and I am still thinking about it from like a week ago, if not more, right? It's been about a week. I've never wanted to like come on here and make a review of anything, but I just wanted to come on here and like go live and like talk about this movie because I was the best thing I can say about that movie is I did not have fun watching it. And that's in the best way because I was so uncomfortable. It was like I was watching a war movie and I was in the corner and just like watching it play out. And the first like 10-15 minutes it's slow, and then there's an hour and 15 of just I forgot I was watching a movie because I was so immersed into it. I don't know, we've talked about Dunkirk being the best audio that we've heard, and like Saving Private Ryan, the beachhead being so immersive and stuff. If you take Dunkirk's audio and you take Saving Private Ryan's beachhead and you put that into an hour long of awesomeness, that's it. And I shouldn't say awesomeness because it's not very like most war movies are like, heroic or whatever like that. I did not have fun watching this because it was just so realistic and so uncomfortable in all aspects of like, war is not comfortable. It's not supposed to be something that's supposed to be grand and all this crap. But I can't talk highly enough about that movie. I was just, like I said, I'm still thinking about it a week later, and it's just amazing. If you can see it in the theaters, especially because good God, the sound is insane. It's insane.
I have not been to a movie in quite some time. There is one in theaters that I kind of want to see. I don't remember the name of it now, but it's that one with Rami Malek. Is it the
Associate or something?
The Amateur or something?
Amateur,
like that?
yes, yeah.
That actually looked pretty good, I thought. And I'm a Rami Malek fan, so
yeah, he's very good. I did go see Minecraft. I did get my daughter wanted to go see it.
You want to badmouth Roblox, but you went to see the Minecraft movie.
I did. And to be fair,
I have no issue with Minecraft, nor do I have an issue with Roblox because I know nothing about it. Like, I don't want it to come across like that. I'm more calling out your hypocrisy here.
I wasn't expecting much. And to be fair, it was actually pretty good. And the one thing I did like about it was there was actually a lot of, like old SpongeBob, there was a lot of like adult jokes and like the Ren and Stimpy and stuff. There was a lot of adult jokes in there.
When you said SpongeBob, I have no idea because I don't like SpongeBob.
But
Ren and Stimpy, yes, there was a ton of them.
Yeah, there's a lot, but there was like a lot of adult jokes in Minecraft. in the background and like people talking, and I'm like, oh, okay. So it was pretty good. It was all right. I liked it.
Now you don't get to badmouth Roblox anymore.
Oh, I can still badmouth Roblox because that's.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Oh God, I don't like it at all. I've never played it, but I don't know. Whatever.
I'm very much the old person that I've had 1,000 people tell me what it is, and I still don't know what it is. I know it's more of a platform to make games than it is a game itself.
Yeah. So
which makes me scratch my head as to why you have such this like virulent hate for it. But if that's what it is, but
it to be fair, it is pretty awesome on what it is. I don't know. I just can't wrap my head around it.
The biggest problem is, and this is not making a joke, it's sad, but it is like a pedo recruitment tool too, which is
for sure
because it's so popular with children. And that's not the fault of the game. Like I don't mean that to come across that way. It's actually disturbing how prevalent.
There's definitely people on there that are.
Oh, there definitely is
lingering.
It's known that they do it, and it's like
Oh, I know what. Not that reminded me of what I was playing, but
did it remind you of your last weekend of hanging out at Roblox trying to pick up children?
Now that you mention it, I finally got around last night to playing Alien Incursion, the VR, and Rogue Incursion. I played about an hour and a half or so. It's really good. Super cool. So I'm definitely excited to get back into that.
How's that Hollow Knight playthrough coming? You played all these other games, so clearly you've got all this extra time. How's Hollow Knight going?
I got to keep the meme alive at this point.
Yeah, that's it. That's why. Yeah, that's it.
It's too difficult for me. I can't do it. I just the
jumping. I said the magic words. Where are you?
The jumping. I just can't do it.
Dragora. There we go. I used my poundmate's phone and called in Silking It. If you don't know that reference, I'm very not you. I mean, in general, I'm very disappointed in you. I'm very disappointed. Anybody listening doesn't know that reference.
Oh God. So yeah, let's jump into the Galaxies showcase.
One moment.
Okay.
Before you do.
Okay.
I guess I'm not going to read the answers for question of the week this time because a whopping 2 people, one of which was me, answered it. So we'll let that go for one more
week. Yeah, I was just looking at it right now. We can push it a week.
Me and Matt were the only ones that answered it, and Matt actually didn't even answer the second part of the question. So
yeah, we'll push it a week.
Yeah, so, I actually have a potential follow-up. Not follow-up. I'm sorry, a potential next question. Although it's less of a question. Well, hopefully I remember what it is next week, because if I forget,
jot it down.
It's gone. But in my head, it's a good idea. So
okay. So yeah, we'll add on to that and then see if we can get some more people asking it too. And maybe I'll post over on socials and just get some random people. We can do that too, maybe. Yeah. So Galaxies Showcase. This was their first showcase, correct?
It was, yes.
So we had that yesterday. Thank you for reminding me, because I completely had forgotten about it.
I forgot too. I let out of YouTube, and it was like 5 minutes away. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I'll watch this then.
Yeah,
I thought it started at like 4:30, so I thought or 5 rather. So I thought it would be playing while I was driving home, but
yeah. Before we get into it, and I mentioned it to you today, and I think I mentioned it to you while we were watching it. Lots of games. There's like 50 games or something, I think. I would say like 80% of those games, the trailers, and maybe I'm just getting old, I don't know, but like the trailers were like so fast and so in your face of just like bombardment.
There were definitely a few that I looked and I'm just like, I don't know if that's how you make a trailer. That one that was by the producers of well, they called it Balatro, but if I'm not mistaken, I believe that the guy that made it confirmed it is pronounced Balatro. That's how I'm going to say it from now on.
Yeah.
But the ones that's by those producers, I was like, this is a terrible trailer. Because it just...
Yeah, it was just nuts.
It looked like somebody was spray painting... something like that.
I can't remember.
It looked like somebody was spray painting the screen with just... Yeah, and it even made jokes about how much it was just throwing right at you. It's like, that's a terrible way to advertise a game.
And there were several.
At least I think so.
That.
But
Yeah, there were several of them like that were just like so over the top, and I'm like, okay, take it down.
I'm guessing that a large part of this is they probably were. Every one of them was not very long. If you notice, there was nothing.
Oh yeah,
long.
it was quick.
So my guess is probably everyone was given like a minute and a half to 2 minutes, and they're like, all right, we got to fit as much as we can in this at one time.
Right.
And it's like, maybe that's not the way to do that, but I don't know. I'm not saying, maybe I'm wrong, but I would say that's probably
like I said. For me, it wasn't helping things any. I'll go into my grade at the end of it. Let's see. I think it started out like with RuneScape Dragon Wilds, which nothing for me, but I know RuneScape is huge for people.
That said, that was already announced, wasn't it? Like that was not.
It was. It's already out in early access.
Oh yeah, okay.
Anyways. Yeah. A Painkiller was on there. I'm super excited for Painkiller.
That was the first time we saw gameplay of Painkiller. They announced it at whatever show it was recently, but they didn't show it. Whereas they showed it here. And actually,
super excited.
They went through every weapon.
Each weapon, yeah.
Yeah, that was actually kind of interesting.
It's such a good game.
Some of them are pretty cool designs.
The first one was. And I think I mentioned it to you. The last level of Painkiller, the original one, is one of the best first person levels I've ever played, because it takes place in hell, and you like warp to different zones in time, or different time zones of like in the past. So like you're fighting demons on the Hindenburg, you're fighting demons on the Titanic, you're fighting demons in the trenches of World War II, and it's just like all this like terrible accidents or things that have happened in the past, and you're just like fighting through it in one single level. Super cool. So I'm pretty excited for this one.
Yeah, I actually never played Painkiller, but I always wanted to. And actually, I bought Witchfire because it was by the makers.
Witchfire.
And I was like, yeah, this is not what I want.
I was thinking it was like a roguelite.
It's like a semi Souls-like and roguelite together.
Okay.
It's bizarre.
All right.
And that would be okay. Like I don't like roguelites, but I could deal with it maybe as like a shooter like this. Like I'm okay. I don't mind that. I don't like the class system to it and stuff like that. Like it changes your weapon, and I was like, I'll probably go back to it eventually. But I was a little disappointed when I played it. But because I thought I was getting like another another Painkiller, but
the game,
and it's not like Painkiller at all.
Yeah, the game, when it announced, I added it to my wish list because it looked exactly like Painkiller. I'm like, hell yeah.
It is not like that.
When it came out, I was like, oh.
I don't even know what to compare. Well, like I said, the best you compare it to is like take a Souls-like, make it a shooter, and then combine it with roguelite elements, and that's kind of what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Silken in chat there. The worst was Ninja Party, which is just Fortnite. Even down to the font. Yeah, it was literally Fortnite. Even when they're jumping with the umbrella parachute thing, I'm like, this is how are these people?
One Fortnite is too many Fortnites. We don't need more.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, I don't know how these people aren't getting sued. Like, this is straight up.
That's probably a fair comparison, Silken.
Okay, yeah,
and also first person as opposed to third.
Yep. There was one game that we got super excited about, and then got let down. Not let down, but Ready or Not
ended up not being what we thought it was.
Ready or Not looked a lot like SWAT 5, possibly.
Yeah, and like they started talking about being a SWAT team. I'm like, holy hell!
And then it got announced that Ready or Not is coming to console, which is great. But I was like, I really wanted SWAT 5.
I meant to look and see how much Ready or Not is. I've never
it's on sale on PC for $25, so I
actually, it's funny.
I actually picked that up.
Lord Gaben is listening to us because it's literally the first thing on my screen is Ready or Not. Yeah, 50% off. Maybe that's worth
I might pick that up myself.
Maybe that's worth a try.
I might. It's very positive on Steam. I've heard it's very good.
Yeah, I want to know, can you play it by yourself? And I did hear that you might be able to.
I think you can.
Like, what I'm confused by is, do you go through like proper missions, or is it more like, what's the way to put this? Like, does it work like Arma Reforged in single player, or is it more like you're going through almost like a regular campaign kind of? Does not have a story. I don't care about that. But
I think it's a campaign, but like I said, I'm not sure, but you'd have to double check. But I think it's like campaign missions, not like a Armor Reforged type thing.
Okay, yeah, because I would be okay with that.
I think, but
like obviously it'd be nice if it had like an overarching story that like SWAT 4 had a story.
Yeah.
SWAT 4 was so good, actually.
So good, dude.
Do you know who made SWAT 4?
No,
It is commonly forgotten when people worship him. That is a Ken Levine game.
No shit.
I'm 90% sure. I'll look into it to make sure, but I'm almost positive he made that.
Interesting. Huh. What else? I'm trying to think. I mean, there was for our baguette bro in chat.
Yep. He was the writer and executive producer.
Writer too?
And yeah, Irrational Games actually was the developer, which is why it was so much better than the other games too.
Interesting.
For those who don't know, Irrational
makes sense.
Irrational was his studio before they got disassembled and then slowly rebuilt as 2K Boston at the time.
Yep, that makes sense. A lot of the time while watching this, a lot of indie games. None of them really for me, but the whole time I was like, our Baguette Brothers.
There was something I thought looked kind of interesting, but I forget what it was. But yeah, no, that I like I said, that was the most silken ass show that ever existed because, I'm not exaggerating. Half of those games, as soon as I was like, that is a silken game right there. Like that is 100% the kind of game that he likes.
Yeah. There was one game on there too called Nice Day Fishing where it was like gameplay pixel, and then it was like real time like movie people were interacting with each other. I'm like, what is going on here?
And I could not figure out if the live action was part of the game or if it was part of the trailer.
I had no idea.
And there it is. There it is. I already do. I know.
Half of them are already on my wish list. Yep, I figured. Vector Strike. That's out already, and that's free to play. That was basically. Rocket League with your hands.
An interesting idea, also known as handball, by the way. It was an interesting idea, but man, did it look like really,
it didn't
really like single A.
Well. Yeah.
Okay, Silkenit said the live action is just part of the trailer.
Gotcha.
But I don't know what the rest of that means. Viva La Dirt League. I don't know what the hell that means, but. But okay, I was confused because I thought the same thing. I was like, does it have cutscenes with the live action, or is that just this trailer? He confirmed, obviously, that it's from the YouTube channel.
There was a game I probably will never play it, but I thought it was kind of cool. Syntopia, where you basically are taking souls that people that have died and like going through their sins, and you're basically making like this hell tycoon type of thing. I thought that was kind of cool, but
it's a funny idea, but
I'll probably never play it.
You know what I thought about when I saw that though? An old IP that I'll bet you nobody but me. No, Black and White. An old IP, like it's actually older than Black and White, that needs to come back. Do you remember Dungeon Master?
Yes.
No, it was an old EA game, actually.
Yeah.
And like that was the idea, is like you were like kind of Satan, but not really. And like you were like torturing your. I mean, it's from like the mid '90s. It's really old.
It's a while ago.
And then totally different thing, but we need. I'm sorry, there's an idiot dog barking like a lunatic, but we need Overlord to come back because Overlord was
Overlord was great.
Overlord was so out of Codemaster's normal wheelhouse. So cool. That was such a good game. When the second game opens in the training with you killing a bunch of baby seals, like that told you what you were in for, and it was like, this is gonna be good. So they were so funny.
And then I think they showed like Painkiller, and then like I think it was right after it they showed that like Lily's World where it was like that. Nice.
And then hold on, I'm not done. I collected all 4, although unfortunately every one of them is broken because they were very fragile. If they even fell over, they would break. I lied. One's not broken.
Nope.
The red one's in good shape. You can see the arms off the green one.
Man, the Overlord.
I was so happy to have all of them. I was so sad when they kept breaking.
Overlord games are so good.
They were awesome.
Yep. I think it was like right after Painkiller. This freaking trailer came on for like Lily's World, which reminded me
creeped me out so much.
Yeah, it reminded me of like the late 90s commercial of like the girls with their
It was Luke Lore the game with his with his free candy van.
Oh my god, the free candy van. Jesus. Brings back the meme. Yeah, of like, oh, you can text your friend if they're like in the next room and stuff. It was just it was definitely definitely creepy for sure. That's the only thing.
You know what it honest to God reminded me of? I don't remember the name of it, but do you remember a few years back there was it was like a live action. I mean, it was going to be an actual release, but the point was that you were going to be a Twitch streamer without being Twitch. You were supposed to be her mod. And like there was somebody stalking her. They ended up canceling it because they got blasted into oblivion for the idea.
I had forgotten all about that.
I don't remember the name of it. It was like, but like they were making it, and actually, my understanding is they got pretty far through production. And they ended up canceling it because people were like, what do you think this game's gonna do? I mean, that's insanity. Make the game and release the game, and don't listen to the idiots on the internet telling what you can and can't do.
Right.
Since you're not outright doing things to this person like that's a different story, right? Like we all remember the very famous one from a few years ago that released in Japan but would not be released. I'm not gonna say its name, but we don't want that kind of shit. But this kind of thing, it's like they should just released it. Like, who gives a crap what they think? And it wasn't like it was. There was also that game. Do you remember that game Hatred that was supposed to come out a while back?
Oh my god!
That game was nothing more than an edgelord bullshit.
Oh, it was.
I didn't mind that one getting like canceled into oblivion either, because that was not going to be a good game. It was just something made for piss ass little teenagers. But like this, whether controversial or not, there was actually like a purpose to this, and it actually they should have finished it. It's kind of disappointing they didn't.
We'll never know.
I don't know.
We'll know, but I'm just looking through the list here. There was a bunch of them, but there was that like anime racing Asuka.
Yeah, that kind of interested me. I'm sure it'll end up being bad, or at least bad in my opinion. But I would absolutely. Do you remember? Here we go. Bring up the old man thing again. Back on GameCube, there was a game called Automobilista that was an anime stylized racing game. I believe it was only on GameCube. I don't think they ever ported it elsewhere. And I really wanted to play that, but I never did.
I don't
think is that the right name? Is it Automobilista? I think that's what it was called.
It doesn't look very anime.
Okay, that's not the right one then. I'm sorry. That's the wrong one.
It's just
Automobilista actually is a game, but that's not what I'm thinking of.
Anime GameCube Racer. I better be careful what I type in here. Oh no. Is this it right here? Oh no, it's Automobilista. Yeah. By
Modalista. Okay.
Yep. By Capcom. No, I never played that.
Oh, it was Capcom. Okay.
Huh.
Yeah, dude, I was thought that game looked sweet as hell. And like, look how good that art is. And what's beautiful about that is if you played that on a TV now, it would look just as good today as it did back then, right?
Right. It would.
Since,
it really
since
would.
It has like a cartoony style, intentionally, it holds up. Now, I'm sure it's extremely arcadey, which is not quite my style, but like it immediately reminded me of that, except obviously this one has anime girlies that you control as well, whereas that one I think you just drove. But
anime girlies I control, I'm sold.
But Silken, it's right. I mean, obviously, if you know anything about it, the initial thing that pops in your head is Initial D.
Yeah.
Even having never watched Initial D, it was the first thing I thought of when it came on.
Let's see. We saw Expedition 33 again, which hype, can't wait. Nothing. Trench Tales kind of looked cool, but it also looked pretty janky too.
It looked very single A, and it's like this. When I watched it, I'm like, man, if this had some funding, this actually could have been a really cool game.
Yeah. So, and I mean, it's coming soon. I think
early
it's
access,
done. In early access, and I'm pretty sure I've seen this come up on like TikToks before, and I think it's done by like one guy. So
that's actually pretty impressive for one guy. Then
it's understandable, but like you said, I would love if this game had some funding. I would be probably pretty excited for this one.
Shooters are one game where unfortunately it is tough to play like the low budget ones, because you really lose playability like with that genre at lower
there's definitely some cool ideas there. There was some awesome like levolution going on and stuff. So hopefully after some early access it gets some money in the veins, maybe it'll you know turn out good. And then their big, we didn't see Oblivion, but their big.
I didn't think we would. It's supposed to be,
I
rumored
didn't
to be
think
next
so
week.
either. Yeah. Their big thing that they showed was at the end was Legion Studios' actual gameplay of Covenant. Like, we knew about the game, I believe. I'm pretty sure we did, but
I believe it was announced, but we didn't know anything about it other than what the studio was comprised of, like veterans of various different games.
And I think it looked really awesome and cool. However, I don't know if it'll deliver because it looks really over the top, like graphically, and
it looked very cool, and it also looked very, how exactly does this play? Because at one point it looks like what you thought it would look like, right? Like a medieval shooter.
Yep.
Then it looked like a first-person Souls game with like it was an axe or a sword, I can't remember, but they're parrying the attacks and stuff like that.
Right.
Then they've got a bow. Then they've got, I don't even remember, like some kind of whip or something like that. And I'm like, okay,
I think so, yeah.
This really looks vastly different in everything that it shows. So it looks like it's a single player game, which is good because
I think so, yeah. It looks
enough goddamn multiplayer games all the time. Jesus Christ.
I know.
But yeah, I was like, I'm interested. I'm absolutely interested.
I'm definitely interested, but
I got my ear to the ground on it, but I don't know really what it is.
Yeah, the talent behind it is insane, but there's always, there's been other developer companies that have had some insane talent and, just doesn't work out.
I don't think she's in the chat, but there was definitely a few things there that I thought were kind of Nissa's.
For sure. There was some cozy.
Wasn't there a game that called itself a cozy game?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was definitely a couple things there that I think she would enjoy.
Yep, for sure. We got to see some more Firebreak, which if it wasn't by Remedy, I probably wouldn't be interested, but I'm interested.
Same, and I hate that because I cannot shake out of my head that it's like, this isn't Remedy's style though. Like,
so I'm worried.
Their style is being able to stop and like check out the world, which yes, I know technically we have been through the oldest house already. But that's also what's cool is it's like I kind of like the idea of going through it as one of these grunt soldiers with just the regular firearms, because now the hiss that you dealt with without even thinking as Jesse, they probably are going to pose a pretty major threat, right? Mm-hmm. Like the guys in chairs were outside of being tough to hit because but they really didn't do a lot of damage to you, right? That thing looked like it was an absolute hell to deal with as just the regular grunt guys. So I'm interested, but if it takes away from the storytelling, it takes away from what I want to play a Remedy game for.
Right. So I'm cautious. I think they did come out and say that they're having a developer update on the 24th, like a live stream. So maybe we'll actually get some good updates, then. Silicon mentions Unbeatable, and I'm pretty sure that was the one that was like in your face of just like, holy shit. Like I'm like, I don't usually get like overstimulated, but I was like, all right. I will say the section towards the end where they're like, oh, we have like our own original music. And I was like, some of these songs are actually pretty cool. So, hopefully. Bionic Bay looked kind of cool. I think I saw Silicon playing that earlier.
Yeah, I see that's actually been released already though. I believe it was out before the show even started, but getting very, very good reviews. I'd seen that.
That one looked good. Oh, excuse me. But other than that, Spine was in there. Towards the end. Yeah. The like kung fu gameplay at gun fu. Sorry.
Yes.
If that works out correctly and it is nice and smooth, that game could be really awesome.
It reminded me of. Do you remember Wet? The published game. It reminded me of that, except not crap.
Yeah.
Like it kind of reminded me of like what that game wanted to be. I mean, not that you were like pulling weapons out of people's hands and stuff like that, but it kind of reminded me of like that idea. And then it definitely, I don't know if they said this or not, but it clearly was also inspired by what's the game where whenever you're moving, it plays in real time, but whenever you watch it back, Super Hot.
Oh yeah,
because Super Hot's kind of like that too. And I'm pretty sure they said this is like one shot kills and stuff like that, like to you and to the enemies.
Yeah, because your main character doesn't really have a gun. It's you stealing weapons and shooting. Right. So, but fun fact, the developer of that gun fu game, Neki, also is the developer and publisher of Ninja Party. So from one extreme to the next.
Those are two very different games.
So I'm like, okay, one for the kids, one for the adults, I guess. So that
one for the multiplayer, one for the single player.
Yeah. So hopefully that turns out well, because if that does turn out well, I think that'll be awesome I think it'll be a lot of fun to play.
It's definitely unique. And I will say, I'm pretty sure that is the one where they released some like pre alpha footage a few months back. And everyone's like, that looks really cool. And I watched it, I'm like, that looks terrible. What's everybody looking at? It looked much better here. It looked much better.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited. I like the way I think the main character is cool and stuff. So, so yeah, I think I don't think the Castle Craft was in there, which is basically Minecraft mod.
It was.
Cool. Tempest Rising was in there. Command and Conquer, same developers, or not all the developers, but some old devs from Command and Conquer. Clearly, you can tell. I think that was really it that I saw.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot that I remember because
there wasn't
much for me, so there wasn't too much stuck in.
I thought they did a good job with the showcase
for your like premiere.
Yeah,
or not premiere, for your debut show.
Yeah,
that wasn't a bad showing, because
it wasn't bad.
I have definitely seen bigger shows that have much larger like backing to them, so that had way worse showings than that. So I thought it was actually a decent debut.
It was, most of the games weren't for me, but as a show, I thought it was good.
Good production quality too, good pacing.
Yeah.
So I liked it. They actually get a lot of credit there, and I definitely give them a pass, because when it's your debut show, it's tough to get the big hitters. So I hope to see it come back. I hope to see. Yes.
Yeah, I was going to mention that too. Silken, no technical issues.
I hope to see them do another one, and I hope this time, more like sizable studios. I'm not saying it has to be Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft.
Right.
But some bigger third-party studios. I hope that they would kind of support this as well, because
I wasn't expecting Oblivion or anything like that. I was surprised that Covenant was on there, honestly.
Yeah,
for them.
To be honest with you, that's actually a pretty big get for
it is
a debut show like this.
So that was good. Overall, I'd probably give it like a B, I guess, and that's just because
I'd go a C, but like if I'm looking at it, not giving them extra points for being debut, I'd go about a C. But it's a solid first attempt. Like that. That should not be discouragement or anything like that. Like it's just some growing pains, right? But the actual whoever set up the show knows what they're doing, as opposed to some the setup of the other ones, right?
Exactly.
They kept it moving. When you had the host, I missed her name in the beginning. I don't know who she was. I didn't recognize her, but they didn't have her on too much. She wasn't throwing out completely cringe nonsense the entire time.
There wasn't like terrible.
So it was good hosting.
It was nice.
It was good writing for that too.
Exactly.
But when she said something, it actually did a good job leading into whatever they were about to show. So they get a lot of props on that one.
Yep, and it made it easy for me to come up with a title for the show today. So thank you. And then so that was Galaxies, and then no Oblivion drop. Everybody wanted Oblivion drop, which I
you'll get it within the next 7 days. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, especially after the leaks and stuff. And just to talk about that a little bit, I wasn't like, I saw the leaked photos and stuff, and like I knew they were upgrading it and stuff, but I was like, damn, this actually like looks good.
Yeah, it's like significantly more.
It's a huge
it's a substantially bigger improvement than I was expecting.
Yeah, the only thing
hopefully when you move, it doesn't feel like you're jumping on the moon again. Like I hope they fix that a little bit. But
the only thing that I'm confused about is that one of the things that they're saying about it is that they're redoing is that they made the blocking feel more Souls-like, and I was like, that doesn't.
I don't think that's what they said. I think they said they took inspiration for how it works from Souls games.
which
is a good way to do it, because actually Souls games have good blocking mechanics.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure they said that they haven't said anything, but from leaks that they've redone the archery, which would be awesome.
I never play as an archer, so it really would do nothing. But I know it's what most people play in those games.
Yeah, yeah. They redid the like icons and stuff for sneaking and stuff. So,
well, if you go back and play Oblivion, it actually has a very different interface than what you remember, because you think it's like Skyrim, and it's nothing like Skyrim's. First of all, everything is in the lower left hand corner now. But like, and your compass, you have the compass. But that's all that it is. It does well. I think when you're close, it'll show you where a door is, but it doesn't do like what Skyrim does, where it like shows you, the different points or whatever in the distance. When I went back, I'm like, man, this actually does not work like I thought it did. That's how long it's been. Because basically they created that methodology for maybe Fallout 3. I can't remember, but yeah. So the interface,
Fallout 3, I think
the interface does need a little bit of a touch up. So yeah. that's a good move.
I'm excited for it. I want it. At the same time, it's going to come out. I'm going to play it for like an hour, and even if I like it, it's going to get shelved because there's just too much fucking shit going on.
I have advice for you.
Okay.
Stop playing WoW and stop playing FF14, and then you'll have all kinds of time.
I was thinking of when I was playing WoW the other night. We're raiding on Mythic, and it's just like banging your head against the wall because you're learning the fight, and it takes, not a couple times. It's 20, it's 30, it's 40 times of fighting the boss and learning mechanics. And I was like, and it's like 3 hours, Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm like, that's 6 hours alone, and that's not the other stuff. I'm like, I could be finishing entire games, but I love the group of guys I play with and gals. So here we are. And then other news, Nintendo finally coming out with saying that they aren't going to raise the prices of the console itself. It'll be $449 or is there $500 with Mario Kart, but accessories will get a price hike, which I haven't seen what the price hike.
Oh, is. I have.
Well, have you?
Pay no attention to what the left hand is doing while the right hand is grabbing the wallet out of your back pocket.
I have not seen. I didn't go looking.
Do you want to know what the price of a set of Joy-Cons 2, or whatever they call it, is?
I think I saw that. It was like $84.
$95. It is $85 for the Pro controller.
It's $85 for the Pro controller.
It was $80. They raised it $5. I told him when I was on XUP's community episode at the last month or whatever, we were kind of discussing this, and I said, I'll bet anything. I don't remember exactly what I said. I don't remember if I said 90 or 100 for the Joy-Cons. I was like, they're going to be way more expensive, and they're already way too expensive. And everyone thought I was crazy. And here we are, $95 now.
They still don't have, I mean, granted, the regular Xbox and PS5 controllers don't have those to have the anti-drift or whatever. But
yes, it is.
God, but for like $90 fucking dollars, like, come on.
That's insanity. The raise itself, maybe not, but the fact that they were already priced so high is 100% them. There is not $90 worth of technology in those. I can promise you that.
Oh, no.
Because there sure as shit wasn't in $80 worth of tech in the Joy-Cons, and they still were $80. So.
God.
And actually, even more so with the Pro controller. That there's definitely not $85 worth there. Because there's nothing there that's not in.
Right. It's just a controller. There's not like, and then once again, it's probably because, like you said, probably tariffs and stuff. But
it was Nintendo's way of also squeezing you a little bit drier too.
Yeah.
I mean, $5. $5. That wasn't going to kill them. And then they did release an entire list of things, but those were the ones I actually gave a shit about and looked at. So I'd be willing to bet the cameras more. And it was already overpriced at $50, so I'll bet you it's probably $60 now.
I'm sure. Speaking of the camera, I watched the Mario Kart Direct, which I'm looking forward to Mario Kart. What they showed, I was like, oh, they should have shown this before. I understand they waited for the Direct. It's basically Forza Horizon Mario Kart. And there's a lot of extra things to do in the world and stuff. So that looks cool. But once again, they showed that damn camera of like watch four of your friends play at the same time, and it's like I think you had mentioned it to me. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
they made it deliberately that
yeah,
way.
it's not that it's streaming that
And
badly. I didn't know this either. It was, I don't remember what show it was I was watching, but that's what they said that they had talked about it, and it caps at, I think it's 8 frames a second, which is why it looks so
it's
poor.
a slideshow, and I'm like,
Yeah,
what's the point?
yeah,
What's the
I don't
point?
get it either. At that point, actually, I assume you can. To be clear, I assume you can, but I don't know. Can you do these group chats without having the stupid ass video on the screen? Because I'd rather I'd rather not be able to watch someone else's screen. I just want to talk to somebody.
I
assume you
don't,
can. To be clear,
I would
assume
just
you can,
imagine
but
you can. I don't specifically know that
this
you
is
can,
Nintendo,
but I would
though,
just
so
like,
there is a definite possibility that they make it that you
that's
can.
the terrible thing. Like,
Remember,
I could see that not being a case.
we are in year 8 of the Switch. You still can't send a text message on that damn system. You cannot send a message. So basically, outside of inviting someone to a game, there is no point to your entire friends list on Switch. There's none.
Yep. I don't know. It's
or I guess if you want to see what they're playing,
but definitely not big. But I know you can have like the people's faces on top of the carts as they're driving, so maybe you can talk like that too. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and actually, also, I don't believe that the what do you call it, the icon, or not the icon, the video of the person you're talking to. I don't think that runs at the low resolution or the low frame rate. I think that's I think that's just whatever game they're streaming.
Yeah. I think that's a cool concept while playing like Mario Party and stuff, which I don't, but I think it'll be cool.
I'm sure they'll build some Nintendo gimmick into it about that. That's what Nintendo does.
I am glad that they kept the price, because I think it would have been, I'm sure it still would have sold, but I feel like it would have been really bad if it had gone up. So I'm glad the price is the same. I will try and get it. Pre-orders go live on the 24th. They go live at midnight at Target, and then 11 o'clock on GameStop's website or in the store.
I thought it was next Friday. That would be Thursday.
The 24th, yeah. Which is
okay.
Thursday.
I was thinking it was Friday. Yeah, I'll do the same thing. After work, I'll stop at a GameStop. I'll see if I can pre-order it. If they're out of them, they're out of them. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I am going to try. But
I'll try. I won't be hurt if I don't get one, because I'll get one eventually.
And I'm gonna be clear. I know there's a lot of fear about this. I actually don't think this is gonna be that hard to get. And by that, I don't mean it's not gonna be popular. I don't mean that at all. I mean, they've already said they have a ton of systems in the country already. So I kind of think I really don't think it's going to be that. Again, I tell everyone forgets the Switch was very easy to get at launch.
Yeah,
it got hard during COVID when they couldn't produce them, but we are not in COVID time anymore.
That's when it was hard.
That was when it was hard to get.
Silken GameStop email said noon Eastern for us. From what I've seen, it said 11 for us, and then as soon as the doors open, you can go inside GameStop and order them. And also GameStop will have midnight release.
Yeah, I knew about the midnight release. They announced that a while ago. Yeah, GameStop's basically all open at 11 now anyway.
Yeah.
They don't open at 10 anymore like they used to.
Yep. And then Best Buy, I don't think Best Buy has said when they go live, or Walmart. I'm guessing it's going to be probably 9.
Walmart will probably jump the shark and take them 2 days early.
Yeah.
And Best Buy will somehow be 3 weeks late like they always are.
So yeah, I'll try and get I'll probably try and get the one with Mario Kart, because why not save some money?
I probably will too, even though I don't care about Mario Kart. But if all they say is we have one without Mario Kart, I'll happily take that, because I just really don't care that much about that game.
Yeah, but like you said, I don't think it'll be hard to get one either. I don't think.
I actually think that by the time I get there, they'll be available. And if they're not, I think when they eventually take a second round, I think they'll be easily available.
Yep. Especially if you're walking into GameStop, because they probably have an allocated physical while you're there. So I'm sure you might actually,
Yeah, that typically is how it works. Like usually they'll tell the stores how many they're.
You get 50 units or whatever.
Yeah. Well,
I
think in most cases they wish it was 50.
Right. Yeah.
With a PlayStation, I know they didn't get anywhere near that.
No.
Like, I want to say GameStop's got like 11.
Yeah, I think one of the GameStops, the closest one near me, got like 7. It's like, okay.
But it also was during COVID time. So again, we were still dealing with difficulty in manufacturing.
I do wish, honestly, I can't stand going to GameStop. It's a miserable experience when I go.
Try ordering on GameStop.com.
But I do wish, because I wish we had one close, because I honestly think I would go to a midnight release just to feel that again.
I'd love to, but I will not, because I believe it's a Thursday release.
June 5th. That's true too. That's true.
Yeah, I think it is middle of the week, or else Friday, if not.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
a
Thursday. It is a Thursday.
The last midnight release I went to was getting the Wii U, which was a waste of time.
I don't remember what the last one I went to was. I went to the Switch one.
Yep.
But I had to have gone to something since that point. I'm sure.
I got the Xbox 360 at midnight release at Walmart, and then I had the Wii U. I got it at midnight release too.
I got it. The EB before, when GameStop had owned them, but it was before they nuked the EB name, and they still had them. That I worked at is where I had pre-ordered the 360. We were too small to do a midnight, but we did an 8 a.m. open. And actually, maybe I didn't work there at that point. It might have been before I worked there, but it was the one I always went to, because I actually was like friends with the staff. Me and my friend made a day out. Yeah. You know, I could not have worked, because I guarantee I'd had to work there that day. We made a day out of it. We went at 8 a.m. to get it. I got 6 games. 360 had a very good launch.
It really
library.
did. It did.
I got Quake 2. Call of Duty 2, that's right. I was a Call of Duty fan before all these other fakers. I was there. I was there all the time. Cameo, which was unfortunately massively disappointing game.
Perfect Dark, right?
Perfect Dark.
Which was extremely disappointing to me anyways.
I liked it better than some of the other ones, but Project Gotham 3.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And Condemned. That is a solid launch library.
Condemned
it's a little heavy. It's a little heavy on the first-person games, but that is a solid launch.
Call of Duty 2
right there.
Yeah, Call of Duty 2 being launch and being like 720p HD. I was like, oh my god.
I didn't have an HD TV at that point. The one that blew my mind, and I know we've waxed poetics about it a few times, but the first time I saw Eternal Sonata in HD. Because it was so bright and vibrant, and you could see the stitching on what the hell was her name? The girl on the cover. I know Allegretto was they were all named after like music terms. Allegretto was the main character. I don't remember her name.
I would throw money at anybody who would just let me buy that on Steam
I imagine it's tougher than we think, since there's a real person and their music tied up in licensing there.
Yep.
But
I think that's the only reason.
No joke though, actually. That is something about that I appreciate the hell out of. Is that game actually did teach me a little bit about music history.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I knew nothing about Frederick Chopin.
Yeah.
And I was like, that Raindrops, whatever it was song, I was like, that song is utterly brilliant. And I had never heard it before that game.
God, that game is so good.
It is so sad too, because you know that you're playing through a guy's freaking fever dream before he's dying. It was honestly, when we bemoan the lack of like creativity, that was a really creative game. It maybe suffered a little bit in the combat system, but everything about that game was very, very creative. And again, it genuinely taught me about it. I believe Chopin was Polish. Is that correct?
I
don't think he was French. Like, I'd never heard of him. I knew nothing about him, and I was like, this guy was amazing. Polish, yep. That's what I thought.
Polish, yep.
Yeah, because that's not actually his name. It's very much shortened, I believe.
God, yeah.
But he had such a unique style too. When you compare him to the other like classical, like very, very famous ones.
Yep.
Very, very different from everything like Beethoven and Bach and all those other guys did. It's nothing like them. There we go.
That game was beautiful. Like all the colors and just
and then not long after that is when Tales of Vesperia came out, and it's like, okay, this is the better game, but it doesn't look as good. It was not as visually striking as Eternal Sonata was.
Yeah.
Another fun fact, if we're going to talk about stupid little trinkets, I have a pretty good selection behind my books up here of the 360 faceplates. They made a shitload of them. The
faceplates were great.
I don't know. Dumbest mistake. Well, no, it's not. A very dumb mistake that Microsoft made was getting rid of those, because the faceplates was a cool idea that never truly like got the support that it needed, because it's like everyone always wants to be able to customize their console. Here was the option, but they didn't get enough like backing from the publishers to do stuff.
Yeah,
they got it for like stupid movies, but they didn't get it for games. But
yeah,
those were always some of my the Namco Bandai faceplates were always the best because they were always very vibrant. I have a couple Ace Combat 6 or whichever one it was. I have a couple of them too, and they were like real bright blue because they were the sky.
They had, for some reason, whenever I think of the faceplates, I always think one of the Xbox official one was like that mahogany wood one. If they released, I mean, I know they have like the wraps right now, but if they release, get out of here! Boo! That's disgusting.
Hold on.
I didn't even know they made a Final Fantasy 13 one.
I think I took it since I worked there at that point. So here's the Ace Combat ones.
Oh, those are pretty cool.
Yeah, they're dope, aren't they? It was 6. I couldn't remember what number it was.
The faceplates were great.
They were awesome. Let's see. Unfortunately, the Eternal Sonata ones are kind of buried. I can't quite reach them.
Yeah, they it's such a good idea, and they weren't that expensive either. From what I remember.
It depends. They could be pretty expensive, but some of them you would get like they would be like I had a Transformers the movie one because I thought that movie was sweet. I don't care what anybody says. The first movie is good.
Oh, the first one is great.
The first one's awesome, and I loved Megatron in that. I thought he was amazing, and I thought Hugo Weaving was a very good.
I did like the first one.
Peter Weller, is that the voice actor's name? I thought he was a pretty good step in for him.
Yep.
So I bought like a one of those, and it was it worked by being like a clear cover, but then it came with like some cardboard inserts so you could put in which one you wanted. And I had Megatron on mine for a while. The original Mass Effect one was very good as well.
The Mass Effect one was
that looks great on an Elite console since the Elite was black.
Yep, that was an awesome one.
Yep.
It was
basically the cover of the game except zoomed in to just be Mill Shep and
pick them off, put them on. They were awesome.
Another thing that, to their credit, Microsoft had a really good idea that they were probably too early on.
Yeah.
But the difference was, unlike the other ones, this one nobody picked up on the idea. It just kind of died on the vine, which was. I remember when they said that. I'm like, that's an awesome idea, and I hope a lot of people do stuff. Yeah. And they didn't.
It's kind of like I personally think the wraps are a good idea, but at $50 a pop, I think it's not a good idea.
Or I'm sorry. You're talking about the kind that go on the series. No, I like those.
Yeah, on the X.
I thought you were talking about like the vinyl ones that you can buy.
No.
I'm like, those are not a good idea. No, the ones that Xbox makes, I do like those as well.
Yeah, I like the wraps. But they announced it, and there's like 5 now. There's like the camo, the Starfield, the Doom, like a couple other ones.
I didn't think there was very many.
Yeah, there's not many, and it's like,
actually,
come on.
Even though I didn't care for it, why is there not a South of Midnight one? Like, you could really make a good one.
There should be one for every one of their first party games. There should be one,
or at least every big one.
Yeah, they really should.
Why is there not a? Forza might be a little bit tougher because you'd probably want to do it with a car, so you'd have to get licensing agreements on that, I guess.
But yeah, Forza.
Why is there not an Avowed one? Honestly, even if I don't like Avowed, you could have made a really nice one out of that.
If they had put like an Avowed wrap of like that T-shirt, the character that's on the T-shirt, that would have been badass.
Well, it's also the cover of the game, but
yeah,
you're talking about the skeleton guy. I have no idea why that's not a thing, because that totally would have worked.
Any of their first party games, just slap it on there. Well, maybe it won't sell hundreds or whatever, but
just to give Captain Logan is shot out. I'm sure he would like a Sea of. I know he's been asking for a Sea of Thieves one.
Yeah, why isn't Sea of Thieves on it? It's perfect.
Didn't they finally announce a dynamic background for Sea of Thieves that he's been asking for like 5 years?
I want to say yeah.
I think they did. He was like, finally. I remember saying something finally on Twitter, and I assumed that's what it was about.
I'm pretty sure they do. Which, yeah, it's just I don't know some decisions these fucking companies do. I don't know.
Well, that company in particular.
Yeah. So speaking of other companies, let's move on to Disney and Star Wars.
Oh, yay, my favorite.
And they just have some announcement because the Japan Fan Fest deal is going on over there. We've gotten some things, a new Maul Shadow Lord, which is another animation that's coming out, which I'm super excited for. Sigourney Weaver is going to be in the Grogu.
Yeah, you're right. No,
I think she's in the Grogu and Mandalorian movie, which
yeah, because that's a story everyone wanted to continue.
After
what a shit fest the last 2 seasons.
I love,
and yes, I said season. I said what I said. Season 2 sucked.
I loved the first season.
First one was amazing.
Second season was
bad.
Okay, I can get behind it, but third, I haven't finished the third because
I won't even watch it because
I just can't.
The second I was like, yeah, this turned into Marvel, where you have to watch 5 different things to know what's going on. Hey, Disney, shove it up your ass.
Yeah,
I refuse to ever watch an episode of it after that.
And
plus I didn't like season 2, so.
You mentioned that about Marvel, and just to toss it out there, I know Marvel has the Thunderbirds or something coming out, Thunderbolts coming out like next week, and I'm like, I saw the
movie that literally nobody asked for. Yeah,
and I was like, I would like if there's nothing going on. Yeah, I'd like to go see it, but at the same time, I'm like, I can't because I haven't watched the 20 fucking seasons of whatever else they have put out.
It's the catch-22, isn't it?
And
this is why I keep. It's a fucking tangent time. That's why I keep saying if Disney had any friggin' clue what they're doing at this point, they would realize that the MCU idea was a success that they then beat into the ground and is now dead. Yeah. And it is time to wrap it up, make the movies. But they don't need to be this MCU bullshit anymore because nobody fucking cares. Yeah. Nobody cares about it anymore. Obviously nobody's a bit hyperbolic. Some people do, but the reality is, if you had 100 people who liked the MCU before, now you've got maybe 2 that do, right? Like most people just do not care anymore. And this is the result. This is the result of doubling down on the C, D, E, and even F tier characters. Yeah. Did anybody on Earth ask for a Squirrel Girl movie?
No,
I know I didn't.
Yeah, and like with Marvel, the last one for me that I was like was End War, which was the end of it, and I was like,
I did actually like the Spider-Man that came after it, which should have been right there. Like that was an okay epilogue.
That's good.
That should have been the end of the MCU right there.
And it would have been fine if they took a break and then come out with movies later on or something. But just these, I didn't mind WandaVision. I thought WandaVision was good. I think one of their first Marvel. We were supposed to go on Star Wars, but now we're on Marvel tangent. But like the first Marvel series they had was the Captain Falcon, and
it wasn't the first one. I actually think WandaVision came before that, I believe.
But I struggled so hard to get through that Captain Falcon one or America one, and I was like, "This is."
I wouldn't even watch it because I was like, you know what? I don't want Falcon to become Captain America, and it's not.
Yeah,
I don't want to play Captain America. Nothing like that. It's because you know why? Because Falcon is an infinitely more interesting character than Captain America.
Yeah,
just stick with Falcon. He is way more interesting, way more fascinating, and a way better character than Captain America. Just forget about Captain America. We don't need him anymore. He served his purpose. Let him die.
And there's another one that just came out that I can't even remember the name of it. I liked the first season of Loki, not enough to watch the second season.
Are we talking about just shows?
Yeah.
I don't even know what they've done. I won't even pay attention to it anymore.
There's one that came out recently. It's got Aubrey Plaza in it that I've heard is good.
Oh, wasn't that Agatha Harkness?
Yes, yeah.
I did not hear that it was good. Actually, I heard it was bad.
I heard it was good, but
Catherine Hahn is good in it, from what I understand. But I heard the show itself is not good.
But anyways, yeah, fucking Marvel. Ugh. But yeah, so back to Star Wars. We got some more stuff announced. Ryan Gosling.
Well, here's the thing. When you bitch about Marvel, it's equivalent to bitching about Star Wars because it's the same fucking problem.
It's the same
fucking problem.
Yep. Thankfully for me, anyways, Andor is fantastic. I'm really excited for season 2, which is next week. Yeah, next week. Acolyte was a huge letdown. The third season of Mandalorian was a huge letdown for me. But I have to have hope for Star Wars. I have to.
You know what? I held on to hope. I know people listen to this think I hate Star Wars. The reality is, I loved Star Wars for so long. You will be hard pressed to find a larger prequel defender than me. I constantly say that people that hate the prequels simply hate that it's not what they grew up with. And I know people turn around and be like, well, the only reason you don't like the sequels, like, no. The reality is, whether you like them or not, the prequels fucking told a cohesive story. The sequels.
Yeah, I liked the prequels. I thought they were good.
I even liked episode 7. I was incredibly hyped for it, and I loved it. You can ask Krista. I don't think she's in here, but if you ever talk to her, you can ask her. I was pissing myself. I was so excited for Last Jedi. And then I was pissing myself because I couldn't believe I wasted 2 fucking hours watching that garbage-ass movie. And then I wasted 2 more hours seeing Rise of Skywalker, which I will die on the hill. That's a better movie than Last Jedi. I will die on that fucking hill. It's a bad movie. It's a terrible movie. It's better than Last Jedi.
I think so. I'm with you on that one.
It's at least watchable. Last Jedi is barely watchable. But anyway, and I actually really enjoy both of the spin-off movies. I love Rogue One. I think Rogue One's one of the best Star Wars movies.
I think...
And go ahead.
Yes, and I'm going to agree with you. I think Rogue One...
Third best Star Wars movie.
Easily.
Empire, Sith, Rogue One.
Easily. Yeah. Easily. It's so good. And the next one you're going to say, Solo, I'm guessing.
And Solo, I always
fantastic.
said it is a bloody miracle that movie turned out good. Because if you know the backstory
and
of that,
I like
Disney tried to kill that movie in every imaginable way. And Ron Howard, to his credit, made a good movie out of it.
I really like it.
He had something like a year to completely reshoot that movie after whoever the...
Yeah, I did hear that.
Was it Benoit and the other dude? I don't remember if it was them or if it was somebody else. Because Kathleen Kennedy has no idea what she's fucking doing.
She came
out. They thought they were supposed to make an entirely different movie than what they were. Then a year before, they pulled them off the project, put Ron Howard on it to fix it. He has to do all these reshoots. They gave him a very limited budget to work with, right?
Yep.
And they released it a week before. It was either Endgame or Infinity War. I want to say it was Infinity War. They released it a week before that and gave it no marketing budget at all.
Nothing.
Disney tried to shoot this movie in the head.
Yep.
And somehow it still turned out okay. Oh, and also, obviously, a lot of people took issue with the fact that it was somebody other than Harrison Ford playing Han Solo. But when it came out, I think most people agreed that Aiden Erickson or something.
I can't remember who, but I thought he did
actually was a really good version of it. Like, it was a little bit different, but he was really good. I mean, leading into it, everybody thought that Mike Donald Glover would be a pretty good Lando, so that wasn't too much of a surprise. But no, that was a good movie. That honestly,
I liked it. Yeah,
it's a miracle that it's even watchable, let alone good.
Yeah,
and I like that movie. So if you look at this now, there are 11 movies. I like 9 of them. I love 9 of them. In fact, I hate 2 of them, but I love 9 of them. However, now you get on to shows, and this is where the real freaking problem happens, right? I love Clone Wars. I have said since day one, I was like, Clone Wars is the best Star Wars content there is.
Clone Wars.
This is not an opinion. This is a fact. Clone Wars is the best Star Wars content.
Especially,
not counting games and all that stuff. I'm talking about,
But man,
I loved Rebels.
Seasons
I loved Rebels. When it started to get more serious is when it got much better. And also, it's when it started to have all the shit that they survive on, which is all the, hey, you remember this guy? But it actually makes sense because it's during that era. It's not just silly throwbacks, right? And
Yep.
it's dealing with those characters. I loved Rebels. It was a bit of a step down from Clone Wars, but I still liked it a lot.
Yep.
I even liked Tales of the Jedi, I believe was the name of it. There was 2 seasons. Tales of the Empire was terrible, which I'm like, considering I'm like, it's a running joke with me, but I'm a massive like Empire truther, if you want to call it that. Like when I use Facebook, I used to change my profile picture around the holidays all the time. It was like this like what do you call it? Propaganda Empire thing that said like like it had like a Star Destroyer with a bunch of walkers. I would change to that every year because a running joke with me is I'm like the Empire did nothing wrong. I'm one of those people, right?
Oh yeah.
You know, people that know the truth. Just to be clear.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
And Tales of the Empire
I'm
was
with you.
fucking terrible. What made them think that anybody gave a shit about that stupid governor lady from Ahsoka or whatever, or I don't know, it might have been Mandalorian. I didn't give a fuck about her. She was terrible. And I don't even remember the second part of it was better, but I don't remember what it was now, which tells you how forgettable it was. But Tales of the Jedi actually showed the backstory we never saw, which was Dooku's fall to the dark side, which I thought was very cool. Very, very cool. And all that stuff. It is just too goddamn much to the point now that, and I know there's people out there that disagree with me, and that's fine. You're allowed to disagree with me. But I think it is clear as the day is long, and anybody that argues this is just lying to themselves. The quality is suffering because there's just too damn much of it.
Yeah, they're pushing out. Yes. For me, there is some good. Bad Batch is really good.
I never watched Bad Batch, but I have heard that was good.
But it is, and even in, it's just like you said, they're just pushing it, and if you push things so quickly, quality. I also loved
Obi-Wan. I liked Obi-Wan more than most people did.
Yes,
like most people like the last couple episodes. I actually liked the whole show.
I liked the whole thing. Yeah. I will say, for me, the Obi-Wan Darth Vader fight and the way it was filmed,
it might be the single best part of all of Star Wars.
I think so. Yeah,
it's
when I watched it,
it's between that and the Anakin versus Obi-Wan fight in Episode 3.
Like,
those are the 2 best parts in all of Star Wars lore.
In awe the entire time, like the way it was filmed, the way it was choreographed,
masterful. Masterful. Yeah. And it really was. Even people who didn't like the show, they knew that's why you watched it. You stuck through it to watch that because you knew it was coming, and you
it
knew
also
it was
had the worst part in almost all of Star Wars in the first episode where little Leia's running away.
Yeah, that was
and
bad.
One of the branch like hits the guy and he's like, "Oh, I'm stopped." And I'm like, and I was like, no, we're not in for a good time.
But also, actually, everyone hated. Was it Reva? Was that her name? I didn't think she was too bad.
I thought,
she was a little bit annoying, but I didn't think she was too awful.
That was so.
And actually, that's the other thing too. They keep on focusing on all this dumb shit. Inquisitors. That's all we need, right?
Yeah.
Like, so leading into what was announced, I will say when I looked into what it was and all that shit, I have slight hope that maybe Starfighter won't be complete dog shit. I don't give a fuck about the director because that movie has no interest to me whatsoever. I do like Ryan Gosling, but we have always focused far too much on the Force users and not enough on the damn actual starfighters, which is a very cool part of Star Wars that they just kind of ignore now.
Yep.
So I have hope there. And I believe there is a possibility, not a guarantee, but a possibility that the Darth Maul one could be good because Sam Witwer is a pretty amazing Maul, no question about it.
Yeah, I will go because I've read a lot of the Star Wars books and stuff like that, and that's why I like Andor so much and stuff, and why I love Rogue One so much is that Star Wars is so much more than just the Force.
I don't know why. I don't know why Disney has gone all in on nothing but that. Because watch the original trilogy. Like there's not even that much of it.
Right.
There's like 4 lightsaber battles in the entire original trilogy. Now, that's not a criticism of it because I'm glad they had that in the prequels. But that's just it. The prequels thing was all the lightsabers and all the Jedi, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then the problem was with the sequel trilogy, since Kathleen Kennedy has no idea how to set up a story.
Ugh.
She's let it try to take, and nothing made sense. Which is so we. To its credit, we did get at least one movie's worth of good starship combat, which was Episode 7. But then, unfortunately, that went out the window in Episode 8 because they destroyed his Black One ship for some reason.
Yeah.
And All I have to say is this: Leia in space. That's all. That's all I have to say. Leia in space and
I
Rose
don't even want to
Tico
talk about it.
and Rose Tico, the
I
two
don't
worst
even want to
parts
talk
of
about
all
it.
Star Wars.
I don't even.
You bring Jar Jar to me, and I will tell you Rose Tico and Leia in space. And you lost. I won. Well, won. I won by losing, I guess. But
there's been a few
Rose
times...
is the worst character in Star Wars. Not because of Kelly Marie Tran. It is not her fault, and people that harassed her are idiots. That character, however, is fucking terrible.
Yeah.
At least Jar Jar, as obnoxious as he is,
but he's supposed to be.
The point, right? He progressed the plot. He had a purpose. Rose did nothing but side rail the entire damn plot.
It was the God, yeah.
You could take 45 minutes out of The Last Jedi, and that movie not be affected one bit.
And you
could take out everything dealing with Rose and Finn, which also that's to say nothing about what they did with Finn's character, because that's an abomination. Johnny Boyega is a complete fucking asshole, but
yes,
I will side with him on saying Disney's a bunch of dicks, because they definitely are. What they did to his character was bullshit, but that dude unfortunately is a massive jackass, so I don't hope anything good for him at all. But no, he's a fucking douchebag.
He is.
But you could take everything dealing with Rose and Finn on Canto Bight and remove it from that movie,
and you wouldn't.
And all you would have is a movie that flows better.
Yeah, you wouldn't miss out on
there was
anything.
no point to any of that. None at all.
And the whole Princess Leia thing. I've been to, at this point in my life, probably close to thousands of movies, or 1,000 movies in theaters, and I have just gone through it. I almost walked out of one of the Resident Evil movies because it was so bad. I can't remember.
I only saw the first one in theaters, and I actually liked the first one. So
I like the first one.
Yeah,
the second one not too bad. The ones after that, there was one where she was on like a flying ship or something. I can't remember, and I just remember I almost walked out. That's
they did get really bad. I know that.
Yeah, that's the only movie that I've almost walked out on. However, during the Leia scene where she's Supermans it out of the fucking Star Cruiser, I literally looked around in the theater and was like, did this just fucking happen? I can't. I mean, that scene before it happens with the Star Cruiser going through at light speed, it was cool. But
that was actually that was after, because that was after Holdo took over, if you remember correctly.
That's right.
Yeah, everybody hated that. I was like, I actually don't know why that's such a big deal. I don't think that's a problem at all.
No, it was
going to light speed didn't make you fucking teleport.
Super Saiyan it or whatever. Superman. I was like,
and the worst part of it all, and it's bad. It's bad top to bottom. The worst part of the whole thing is that she does it subconsciously. Which makes no sense whatsoever. Because she's passed out and half dead, and she just does it by instinct. And it's like Ryan Johnson, have you ever watched Star Wars in your entire life? Because this is not
rough.
Star Wars.
It's
this
rough.
Is not Star Wars. They took a great character in Poe and absolutely made him the biggest pussy on earth in that movie.
Yeah,
they at least somewhat course corrected in Rise of Skywalker, but the damage was done by that point.
Yeah, and of course the iconic line: "They have jump jets." That's like, oh my god.
I didn't mind. Actually, I didn't mind that part.
That was all right, but it was just people going crazy about well, yeah.
Now, that said, to give it its due, I will say the throne room scene was pretty fucking awesome, actually.
That was pretty sweet.
That was pretty damn cool. And a lot of people had issue with how he killed Snoke. I actually thought that was pretty clever.
I thought that was cool.
The fact that he killed him, I thought was stupid, but the way that he did it, I thought was pretty cool.
It did suck that, yeah.
But anyway, back to our actual point.
Right.
So, despite all this, what would a person with a brain, not Kathleen Kennedy, say the correct approach to this would be? Let's find a movie idea that's really going to resonate with people and build interest back up, right?
Right.
Nah. Let's just make 5 movies. Let's just make 5 movies. That's the way to do it.
Well, that's the thing.
Or is it actually might even be 6. I know it's a trilogy, and then
I think
Starfighter and
because
something else.
They did say that Starfighter is coming out, in 2027. Grogu's coming out in 26.
You're right. So, yeah, so it is. I think it is 6 the movies then. So I think there's one from Taika Waititi for whatever fucking reason.
Which is
I cannot stand that guy.
So there's his, and there is the other trilogy,
and then there's the trilogy. Yeah. So it's 6 movies.
6, which so basically we're gonna fall into that of what happened before, where it was
it's just
trilogy.
It's a regurgitation
one
of
every
content
year.
Again. It is
one
a
every
fucking
year,
regurgitation of shit.
I love Star Wars, and I would love to. When Disney first bought it, and they were just like, "We're going all in," I was so happy because I was like, "Finally, we're getting Star Wars content all the time."
Yeah, at first I was like, "Well, I never thought all the time," but I was like,
right.
"Yeah, no, Disney's going to be a good steward of this. I'm okay with this."
Yep, and then and now it's. I never thought I'd see the day where I was like, "It's too much," which
way
sucks.
Too much.
Which sucks because there's no.
And I want to be very clear of something. I want nothing more than to be proven wrong. I want nothing more than to go, okay, Disney missed the mark, but they're back on course now. I see zero chance of that being the case. First of all, I don't know how any Star Wars fan can't be praying for her ousting by now because she has destroyed the brand.
And she just because there was rumors that she was retiring.
An arrogant asshole.
She just I think in an interview today or yesterday was like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm not retiring," and I'm like, "Fine."
No, that was actually like a month ago. But
was it?
Everybody thought she was, and then she made sure she corrected that real fast, and it was just like
I think she brought it up again during the celebration over there.
That may be. And it's like we had a glimmer of hope, and you just tore it away from us.
We did.
I despise her for so many things, not least of which is ruining Star Wars for me.
Yeah,
and she really, and it's nothing political or any of that bullshit. Although her political shit that she insists on shoving into it is fucking annoying.
Objectively,
but she's an asshole. I cannot fucking stand her. She ruins the content, and she has truly driven the brand into the ground. What was once the undisputed most powerful IP in the world, nothing even in the ballpark.
Right.
She has made. It's not that it's still not powerful because it is a shell of its former self now. Like it obviously does well in terms of having, but it does.
I don't think it has the impact like it used to.
It used to be when there was something Star Wars announced. Yeah, you had people bitching about it, but those people bitch about still went to see it, right?
Yeah.
And that said, you had what Episode 7 was, which was you had like $5 billion worth of viewing, right?
Yeah.
And the Last Jedi did well at first, and then people saw it and was like, yeah, I'm not going to see that again. But like, that is the Kathleen Kennedy Star Wars. She has destroyed it to the point that nobody fucking cares anymore. I can't say nobody. Some people care. I know Nis is a big Star Wars fan. That's fine.
Yeah.
But the brand has nowhere near the reach and power that it did.
It's not as impactful.
10 years ago. 10 years ago, it still meant the world to people. Even with a bad movie, you go, okay, we've had bad movie before.
Like, I mean,
but it's the same stupid mistake over and over and over again. And instead of just peeling back and saying, okay, let's fix this, it's just more. That's the answer. More. It's like, how about you make it better? Instead of quantity, let's have quality. And I have yet to. I've not seen Andor. I know people love it. I'm willing to say that's obviously clearly a great one. I'm not arguing that at all.
Yep.
However, it is clear that we are not back on quality things. Who knows? Andor season 2 may be bad. I don't think it will be, but it could be, right?
I mean, it could
it's always a possibility.
Yep. Always is.
Like I've said what I have to say. It breaks my heart because that honestly, Star Wars used to be one of my very favorite things in the entire world. It's one of my very, very favorite. I mean, I have an entire thing, and I mean, they're a bunch of shitty little ones. They're not anything good, but I cannot get my fingers where I want them to be. Oh my god, I can't do this. There we go.
Mirror.
I have a shitload of figures in there just because I love Star Wars when I loved it, and they have truly taken it away from me, in my opinion.
Yeah. I still love it, but the impact isn't like it used to be. Like when we first found out about the new trilogy that came, it was like, it wasn't like life-changing, of course, or anything, but it was like, oh my god, we're getting a Star Wars movie. The excitement and just the emotion of just knowing that it was coming was wild. And then now it's like, oh, now if something new Star Wars gets released, it's like, cool. Because we know it's coming because Disney's going to push it down our throats.
Sure.
There's some more than others that are like, oh, that's exciting because I love Darth Maul or whatever. But it's not as impactful as it used to be.
Well, it's frankly to the point of when you say there's new Star Wars content, it means nothing to me. Yeah. I have to look and I'll be like, okay, no, that's something that's... And unfortunately, I'll tell you what was one of those things was Acolyte. So I was like, okay, something in the High Republic era. I'm down with that, right? I'm down with that. Finally, no more Skywalker shit.
It could have.
I was like, please give me Skywalker shit back. This is not it at all.
It could have been so good. It was so bad.
Honestly, Acolyte alone should probably have cost Kathleen Kennedy her job. The fact that it didn't shows you how much Disney don't care. They really don't. Like, because Acolyte, if you have even an average quality show, and let's be very clear, that was very, very, very far below average quality.
It was,
very far below average quality. If you had even average quality show, that would have done huge ass numbers. And they like to come out and give these fake ass numbers. Oh, look at all these billions of minutes watched or whatever. Yeah. Break it down. That show did terrible after the first 2 episodes. Because everyone's like, this is fucking horrible. I want nothing to do with it.
It was like CW midday trash, and it was so sad. It wasn't even so that good. Sad. They had like 2 cool characters that I really liked, and I don't even want to. No, I don't even want to get into it because I just don't want to. It's too late. Oh God. Well, let's end this on a positive note and get some good fortunes. What do you think?
So as the fortune says, you will not watch Star Wars.
I think we are. I know you're not interested in it, but I think what's today? I think it's tomorrow we get information on that Star Wars tactical game.
Yeah, I think that'll be cool, and I know a lot of people are excited for that. That's not really my type of game, though. I wasn't the biggest XCOM guy.
Let's see what we got. I mean, granted, we haven't seen anything on it, so I'm excited, but we'll see.
Tomorrow? Well, I guess tomorrow would...
I thought it was the 19th, but I could be wrong.
I guess technically tomorrow would be partly today anyway, since it's in Japan.
Yeah. Nope, that's the wrong side. Let's see.
Okay, I got to read mine first because I cannot stress enough how wrong this fortune is.
Okay.
Now is the time for peace in your life. Go along with others' ideas. That's a no from me, dog.
That's probably not the best idea. Yeah, some people don't have
conform.
Really good ideas.
Hell no, I won't conform.
Learning your love language is a journey to self-discovery and connection in bed.
That fits the in bed side of it very well.
You know what's weird is I've had these fortune cookies for quite a long time, and they are still fresher than the ones I get at Chinese places.
Really?
So I'm like, what's going on?
I bought this big ass 50 pack on Amazon. I didn't realize it was that many.
You're good for the rest of the year.
I'm good for the rest of the duration of the show.
Shh, I'm soaking it. Shush.
I thought about it. Don't worry. Since you weaseled your way out of last week's episode, I was going to give you a pass on this.
Maybe next week.
Yeah, don't worry.
All right.
I'm well aware of it.
All right. Is there anything else that you would like to add before we end the show?
I just want to say, in case I didn't stress it enough, fuck you, Kathleen Kennedy. That's all I have to say.
And on that note, folks, I think that's it for us. Where can they find you, sir?
Butch4969 in all the places. Twitter. Well, just Twitter, really. But also on PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, whatever. As well as I will be on next week's episode of the X Button podcast on youtube.com/xgaming. I think I really do need to learn that channel. And I have some things to say because I was not on the episode from Wednesday. I think they recorded it. And there were some things said that I'm going to have to bring up on the episode when I'm there because thank you, Silken, Xcape, except spelled with an X. So Xcape. Yeah, there were some things that I'm going to have to bring up because I have to say, I'm like, I don't subscribe to this bullshit that I was not here to refute.
Yeah, so everybody look out for that, and then we'll also put it in our Discord and stuff like that too. You can find me over at Spreading the Nerd over on Blue Sky. That's pretty much where I am now at all times now.
I'll hold down the fort on Twitter alone.
Yep. I should just go over there. I just find it annoying because I did
fighting
have
back
threads.
the Uruk-hai forces on Helm's Deep Wall by myself.
I did have threads. I was posting on that a lot, and then I was posting on Blue Sky, and I was like, I hate posting the same thing twice on both, and I'm like, I'm sticking with one and calling it a day. So yeah, we're also got the Discord link in the info and description if you want to join that. It's free. Come on in.
If you join it, you are required to answer this week's question of the week, by the way.
Yes,
so
yes.
If you join and don't answer it, I'm kicking you within 12 hours, just to be clear.
But other than that, I think that's it, folks. And I'm pretty sure we will see you next week. I don't think anything's going on, so we'll see you next week, I think.
Are you fucking moving to the moon or something? And
No, I'm just like I'm trying to think. I'm like, I don't think because like what came up.
Well, there is something coming next week, but it is what it is.
What's coming next week?
33, my friend.
There's too many games.
Yeah, that's going to be why I play it, I think. But with any luck, you'll see an Eiffel Tower displayed somewhere in my background. I got to figure out where.
Oh, that's right. You got the edition. That's right.
Yeah. Hopefully, I don't get the Atari 2600 version shipped to me. But we'll see.
You never know. You might get lucky. We can do another giveaway.
Yeah, maybe I'll get the Sega Genesis version instead.
Oh boy. All right, folks. Well, thank you very much for joining us. And until next week, have fun, play what you want, watch what you want to watch, and just have fun doing it. Thanks, everyone.
Fortnite.
Unless it's Fortnite. Yeah. Or Ninja Party now.
No, play that instead of Fortnite, please.
Goodbye, everybody.
Later, guys.